A very good afternoon, friends. Uh, as an educator, I have been given these tasks to understand the new approaches in education today and tomorrow. Friends, we are talking about new approaches earlier also, but the post pandemic, the world gives a lot of importance to understand the new approaches in the field of education. May not be the only field of education, but yes, in terms of businesses, we are looking at a different way of understanding every industry, maybe it education, maybe it businesses, how we have changed from our traditional progressive towards the new generation, which is now post pandemic. It's only education, yes, because we are an educator and we'll be sharing only related to education what is the new approaches uh, in today's world to understand education. Friends, post pandemic, how technology has given a lot of importance and it has helped us to understand the learning processes, right? Be it a small young children, because we are representing even early years here, we are representing the higher education. But yes, how education technology, how we were looking at a small child to avoid technology in the beginning of the years, maybe it's a TV screen or a mobile phones, right? And how it has evolved from a small child of 2 3 years, and how it has helped to even a startup kind of thing, or even how it has helped the teachers in the classrooms. We need to understand that new approaches. AR, VR, we were listening just before the pandemic also, but how it has helped into our lives in terms of learning process, assessment process, growth prospect, and individualized learning how has happened during this pandemic. How the teachers has evolved from a classroom setup to an online setup, right? How a project based learning or inquiry based learning has changed during these sessions. Let's understand it from our panelists. So I request all the panelists, be let's have our introduction to a small part and give your process to these new approaches, and then I'll put forward a question to you to understand your industry, your practices in terms of new approach. And for this, I'll go to Ami Desai on a very right on me, my side. So Ami, over to you.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Quick intro is I'm Ami the Mummy, been in the industry of education for 27 years, catering to 9 months old to 75-year-olds. People who want to lead come to us. That's my shortest brief. And I'm a lifelong learner, is what I understand, and I learn from each one of them. Coming to what's happening now, there are three things which we are focusing, or rather, we've seen the change. Very rightly said by Mr. Preetham that technology has overpowered all of us during pandemic, and we cannot discount it. Now the blend learning systems have come, and people in 2 tier 3 tier cities have adopted it. So where the need is, I the focus should be how well trained our teachers are going to be, who are going to take over these learning platforms where monitoring would be difficult, right? And one more thing which is very important is, are we sensitive enough to understand the need of the teacher? Because we are forcing them to do certain things, but are they ready for it? So service is important, which we are ready. That okay, we know this is the need, but are we upskilling them? Yeah, so to start with, that's what I would like to say. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. My name is Raja Reddy. I am a director of Kalaniketan College of Education. Even I am running this EduTech, Good Class EduTech Private Limited Company. And in that we have a digital education. And, we are focused on education, digital, how we can grow. So I'll be helping you if anything you want to know more about digital education, digital education related anything. You can ask the questions. Will help you out. I am really grateful. Most of pandemic got painful, but from pandemic time, some people who got into online classes, digital marketing, they made their money. Okay, so that is the way where digital marketing is going on, and digital education, as ma'am was saying, it's improving more and more. After pandemic, it's jumped. Previously, we used to have international schools, smart classes used to have. Now each and every school they have a classes, online classes, and now easy. One more new thing happened after this pandemic. Like I am running a college, a teacher training college. Traditionally, class, all the teacher is to come, and all the student teacher means who's going to be a teacher, they used to come and study regular morning to evening. Now after digital, what happened, online classes is started, so that same subject, same thing we can explain in online, so helpful for them also, they can work and in the evening they can study. So this is a way helped lot of digital marketing today and tomorrow and forever. This is the digital marketing, digital education will be there. So one teacher can teach bunch of students, so many students can teach, so we can easily afford teachers. So that is the main thing. And previously one teacher is to teach 30 student, 40 student. Now one teacher can teach number of student more than 100, 200. This way we can save lot of money. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reddy sir. Friends, how the classrooms learning has been changed to online learning, how the distance learning has got importance after post-pandemic, right? Now we are not hesitate to even take the distance learning from across the globe. We have mentors, we have teachers, we have collaborative learning, we have peer learning, which has been given a lot of importance after this post-pandemic. Earlier, we were all thinking about to send our children, our students to classrooms to have that learning, but now even the classroom learnings has been connected to the web, it has been connected to the WhatsApps, it has been connected to your LinkedIn, it has already connected to your, what you call as even the Twitter kind of thing, where you are just, a child is twittering to the best of the educators in the world, and they are getting answered from the best of teachers. So this is that new approaches which we are going to discuss today. Over to Aisha.
Hi, I'm Aisha Singh. I don't want to introduce myself as a preschool leader. I would say myself as a teacher, because I always believe the passion and the considerate towards children is absolutely important when you're in this field, because you're working with children not only in the school, outside the school. You know, you might meet children in the mall, you might meet children over here. If you have that passion somewhere, it is always alive. That's the first thing. So when we talk about the education, and I'm sure we all have gone through that situation where the schools are not the same how we were learning. That benches, those four classroom walls, everything is completely changed now. We have so many things: flip classroom, flexibility in the classrooms, peer-to-peer learning, smart boards, and each and everything. Whatever technology has come up, everything we have in school. It's not about it's only in the international school or normal school or a state school. It is a school. Okay, if you see, it's in a community. Even I'm sure we also have all LED screens at our place. Yeah, our tube lights have been changed at home. So when we are adapting to the new things, the schools are also adapting. But my question here is only one thing: how much is too much? Yeah, we are including each and everything. But have we ever stopped, reflected, and then considered it? We haven't done that. We have always thought, let us introduce something new, let us introduce something new. But after introducing, what have we done? We need to put full stop. We need to understand, reflect, and then begin a sentence. So then begin the new technology. So this is about my topic today, which I'm going to discuss. Over to Priyanka.
So this is what I like about Preetham and Aisha. At the same time, they call my name and I'm literally feeling like a toddler who's excited that both the teachers are calling my name. So I'm the special one here kind of thing. And I'll do whatever I want because I'm the favorite one. So thanks for the name calling at the same time. So hi, this is Priyanka Singh. And as Aisha said, she's a teacher. Right? Doesn't matter what profile she's holding. I think it's vice versa. When I have started a long back, I started working as a lawyer, which was nowhere my calling, honestly. And it was more because of my dad. he wanted the legacy to be taken care by the first child, the firstborn in the family. But I think I was blessed by my convent teachers who always forced me to do what you want to do. And my calling was teaching. So I think after working 1 year as a lawyer, I literally jumped, a big jump I took, and I started working as a teacher. I worked, I guess, for 5 to 6 years, and slowly I started understanding that, I have a lot more which I would like to share, and while sharing, I would like to learn. And that's how I ended up starting Samyaro International Preschool. And every day, not just the kids, but we all, the management people, the teachers, we all are learning and growing together. Erasing the full stops too, because as Aisha said, how much is too much? But for the fact, the concept of too much is God knows where it is. Today I'm thinking it's too much. The other day, the new thing is coming and we are again starting from the beginning, right? So today, all of us are going to talk about the new approach in education for now and for future. So over to you, Preetham.
Thank you, Priyanka. This gives me a new thought process, friends. As we understood now, after post-pandemic, we all adopted something very quickly on the process of using technologies, bringing it to classroom and giving it to our children in the learning process. But what has happened to understand is, am I using the right way and methodologies? That is very, very important. Because I'll tell you the challenges here. Earlier, we used to have a learning outcome which is designed. For that learning outcome, this is my thought process, this is my training programs, and this is how we have to give it to the child or the students. They are all aligned to the thought process pedagogy in terms of learning. But now, suddenly we changed our things to maybe a digital way, maybe the learning outcomes which was not easily traceable to that particular student and child because of flipped learning or because of n number of new learning processes. Just to define this, I always understand as a as a teacher or an educator is this alignment of learning outcomes, your training, and the person who is delivering and going back to the child. This all has to be in right alignment. Somebody else is designing a curriculum, somebody else is training it, and somebody else is assessing it. It will never happen, and you will never get your learning outcome on the right field, right tracks. So when somebody is doing this, you need to see, you are adopting a technology, but are they aligned with your curriculum? If they are not aligned, it means you are using a technology not aligned with your curriculum. Then you are hiring somebody else for assessment who is not aligned with your technology, who is not aligned with your teachers also. Then your learning outcome is zero. So just do not jump into a process. I know we all were helpless during that initial days of pandemic. But now the days are gone. We need to go back and see that, am I aligned and my things are in place. So right now we need to understand that part of, and that should be a new approach to education. Right? Approaches were right because of the time. But new approaches is, go back and correct your approaches if you have been wrong something somewhere after this pandemic. Because we all have experienced this. So over to everyone with one basic question is, how you have changed your approaches post-pandemic till now, or the old, even remove pandemic part, how you were doing in 2020 or 2019, and how you have changed back in 2023, or you are planning to bring back to your classrooms or to your students, right? Keeping pandemic in mind, or not keeping pandemic in mind and not keeping technology in mind. Even you can cross that part. So I'm coming to Reddy sir first.
See, pre-pandemic, what we used to do before pandemic, like education, I am talking about especially. Pre-pandemic, like most of them want to go to the college and study. Okay, but after post-pandemic, what happened? They can study online classes. Now, big branded university like in Bangalore, Jain University and all, they have online classes and online exam. You can write your exam at your home yourself. What I'm saying, in the evening you can choose the exam date, timing and all you can choose. Even like a branded university, MIT University, all they are going for this online classes, online exams. Previously, distance education was there, correspondence was there. People used to study and they have to go and write exams in exam centers, and there is a contact classes and all. Now what happened? This totally education system is changed, and in this lot of people made lot of money. How is that? They become a partner to the universities, like a Jain University. They made a partners, like a admission partners, and they will be giving a share to them, like admission commission share. And
Ready, sir. Let's talk about the new approaches which you have brought it to your institutions rather than the business part of it, sir.
Okay. So, see, our institute is a traditional college, like where student is to come and take admission and after study. Now, what happened? Now we have done after post-pandemic. So we have done digital marketing, Facebook, Instagram marketing, even like Google marketing. So what happened? It's easy to get admission from the student, and we have started giving a classes, online classes, where what happened? One teacher can teach all the student at a time. So what happened? We are saving that cost, salaries, and what happened? We can get our budget also good. That is the thing actually that made like financially sound.
Thank you, Reddy, sir. Over to Priyanka. When we are talking about the new approaches in terms of education, as to be very specific, how that teachers has been trained, what the new way the child is getting that education in the classroom or over the, because maybe the child is still at the remote locations. So how that new approaches is helping you?
Lovely question, honestly, and to the topic.
See, we need to experience our thing, which
Yeah.
we have generally adopted it and we are already making it as a practice. Then is they are only learning to the audience, otherwise
Yeah.
we are just
So
at that
I'll give a
stage.
crisp answer to this. As many of you will be already a parent of a child who is in early years, right? This year, when we started our school post-pandemic, it was not like the way it used to be. The challenges were huge. Earlier, it's like 15, 20 days hardly, and kids are settled in the new system. This year, they have become more introvert. They have become more self-sufficient. When I say self-sufficient, they were more like, doing their activity, whatever they want by themselves, without taking anyone's help, sitting in one corner. Or if they're hungry, they will not ask that they're hungry or something. The food is there, they will eat as per their time, more interested in screen. And this was something which was way too different, because we have always handled the kids who are coming to school crying so loudly that either you have to do a video call to dad and mom, or either you have to distract them with the different toys. But this year, everything was provided at home. The toys, the TV, and dad, mom were around. Fine, they were maybe not physically involved with the child, like playing with them or something, but they were able to see them around. So this year it was like different. They're not crying. They're doing whatever they want to do, but they're also not engaging in any activity. Social was a big question mark. I mean, looking at other child the same size, it was like, who the hell is this? Looking like me, walking like me. So the situation was way too tough. And honestly, teachers were not trained to handle this kind of situation. It was the same thing when we started online classes. They were clueless. The same thing has happened when we started post-pandemic. So we had a meeting first of all, and Preetham, you know very well, there is no training who can help a teacher or a mom to understand how to do parenting, how to handle a child who is coming to school. So we just had a quick meeting with the parents where we said that, okay, give us 1 month here, or maybe more than that. The kids are coming up with a different requirement. We need time to understand them. We created the group of 3 kids with 1 teacher, and we just have given them free hand to first love them, pamper them, play with them, make them understand that you exist. It's not the little baby, but there is one more teacher or a person exists in the class. There is another tiny child who almost look like them also exist in the class. And there is a concept where the thing which you have in your hand can go to the hand of the other tiny child as well. And slowly we started working out, and we started making them understand, okay, you have to walk, you have to sit, you have to play, you have to eat, you have to read, whatsoever it is. But yeah, at that time, there were no training. But after a certain time, we started sending them for, life skills training where they know how to handle such kids, or how to introduce whatsoever academic requirements are there. Few things which we strictly started following. Many of us will agree that pandemic was the time when it was the time of Netflix, when it was the time of Reels, when it was the time of Facebook Reels and all. And not just me or dad, mom, but all the teachers were also spending time, after classes on Netflix watching Reel and all. So that activity I have seen have started coming to school. I have seen one Insta activity where the teacher is just doing art and craft activity. It was looking so lovely, cute. I will also do it with my kids. Hello? I mean, they are not interested in just coming and pasting that activity and making reel out of it. So what we did, we just stopped this online view kind of a thing. Like you are watching the videos and coming back here and doing that activity. We are strictly following that. Look at the child, understand the requirement, then plan individual activity and go ahead with that. And strictly no videos, no phones allowed. It is teacher and the child individual attention. And I'm happy to say the growth what we are able to see in the kids is really commendable. It's like, in fact, yesterday we had a quick PTM with few of the parents to understand that how the child was, how they are doing now, and what help we need from parents. So the feedback which we are getting, they are happy that whatever the gap was created because of pandemic has been taken care. And here the teachers also going through some physical training to understand that how they can keep one leg in future and how they can take care of the kids, those who are struggling with whatsoever issues has been created.
Thank you, Priyanka. This brings me a very important thing to understand the what we call as a child with special needs now, right? Friends, what is very important to understand that post-pandemic, right? Lot of parents are struggling, lot of kids are struggling to understand the basic difficulties the child is facing it. Maybe because of the depression, maybe because of the late support from the teacher side, the school side, or they have missed the school side, they have missed the social part of it with the friends and families. So friends, let's understand as a parent first rather than an educator, right? If I say that मेरे बच्चों को कुछ नहीं हुआ है, trust me, nothing has happened to your child. But trust me, early intervention to that special need children are very important. Special need doesn't mean that I do not, my legs and hands are not working, my ears and eyes are not working. That is not difficulties, right? I'll say special needs means you need a support in the learning process. Right? You don't want to attend a class, you don't want to meet friends, you want only the TV screens on the mobile phones. But friends, it's not only the young child, even if it's a school child who is 10, 15 years old, or even is a college going students, those who are only thinking that I do not want to attend my university or college, I have Google Learning, which Priyanka is talking about. They need special attention. Not special needs, let's say, they need special attention for that, from that mentors, from that parents, from that teachers, that will help the learning process in the best way. So post-pandemic, new approaches to education will be finding out children those who need special attention, right? As we said, this is very, very important in terms of learning outcomes. As I said, curriculum aligned with your assessment, and now coming back to the early intervention in special requirements for the child. Over to Aisha on the same.
So once the school started, there were three things which I realized. The first thing was every parent wanted to send their child to school, but they wanted to attend PTMs on Zoom.
Agree.
Yeah, they never wanted to come to school. Okay, this was the first thing. When I realized this, first thing what we did was we stopped technology. No smart boards, no TV shows, nothing. Even the rhymes were only audio. We started giving importance on the cognitive skills and the motor skills for the children, because we realized these are the two things where the children were lacking. That was the first thing. Second thing, when I understood, after this, when the pandemic came, parent was not able to handle their own child. Because parents used to go to office from morning 9 to 5, they come back home and they're with the child with the homework and the house chores. And in the weekend, they take the children out and they're happy. I'm a very good parent. When the pandemic came, they started telling, I can't handle my child. It's your own child whom you have brought into this world. It is then I realized parent involvement is absolutely important in the child's development and the growth. Because we always feel that sending child to the school, it's enough. The child has learnt everything, and my job as a parent, it's done. I have to secure the future of the child. I am working for the child. That's what the thought process was there behind. Then we started making sure that every parent, it is like both the parents, not together, individually. They are going to come handle a class once in a week. It's a mandatory. Our teacher will be there. So we allow the parent to handle a class of 15 to 20 children. In this way, the parent knows that there are different disabled kind of children with their learning abilities. I'm not talking about physical ability, it is about the learning abilities. When the parent realized this, it was very easy for a parent to plan the activities at home instead of always taking them out over a weekend or making the child watch the reels or the TV or something as such. And I have got a beautiful feedback from one of the parents from Mauritius. She said, I know how to plan my child's day. I don't have to think that I am working, let me give my child phone. Okay, so we have a lot of parents like this. The third thing what I realized is, as the Preetham sir said, it's a late development. Because the parents were so busy with themselves, working from home. I'm sure we all know the workload had increased for the parents. And the disabilities were a lot into the children. The speech, no one were there to talk to them. So it's like children had the speech delay. The children were in the depression. The children never knew what to do. The children had no one to play along with them. You know, I should thank my mother. She's Ushal. And she's a psychologist, therapist, and the counselor. When I was discussing this with her, immediately she told me, we are going to open a wing. We opened a wing of a therapy, of a counseling, where not only for the child, it's for the parent also, where the parent can come and talk. And we have a beautiful, this pandemic, when we did this year, because of the last year what we did, we have our admissions full. Because I started realizing these were the things where I have to focus. Not on the technologies, not on the making the parent comfortable, not on the showing the luxury things. I only focused on the basic need. So this is how we did it. Over to you.
Thank you, Aisa. You brought a point to understand the new education policy also, which we got June 2020. That parental involvement in terms of the learning process. That should be again a new approach. It's not just because of that PTM for that half an hour or 3 times a year. How you can involve parents into the learning process. That may be the new approaches in terms of learning. And over to Amy on the same, that how you as a coach, all right, and when you are training the adults once, what are the new approaches we have to see or we have seen in the adults when they are already with lot of data, lot of learning, lot of free, as even Mr. Reddy said, lot of free universities or lot of universities has been online. So how in your process of coaching or training has brought back the new education, new approaches to education?
Yeah, so there were a couple of things, and I completely agree with all the panelists here, whatever they've said. There were 4 or 5 things which we worked on. One was individual education plan, which we always did earlier also. But this became more individual in terms of sitting with the parent and making the plan every fortnight and saying, okay, this is what we're doing and how are you doing? We started shooting and sharing it with the parent. So I told the teachers and super mams and all the people I work with that shoot when the child is in. And do not shoot saying that I'm shooting you. So just keep the cameras on and make an environment, learning environment, which is active learning environment up to grade 4, where they have materials to manipulate. And then there's the child has a choice, child will talk about it, and then teacher can scaffold. And then after 3 months, do a shoot again, and then share it with the parent. So 15 days, every fortnight, when the parent was involved, there was a lot of difference. Because parent initially wanted, okay, please take my child. I have a lot of work, I had enough this 2 years. But then when they got involved, that was the first step, where all the teachers were trained on. Second, of course, there's knowledge, but how do you apply the knowledge? So for the adults, or rather the teenage, from 13 onwards, we started applying psychometric test to understand the interest of the child and the teacher. So many a times, teacher is very, chalk talk, rote learning. She wants to teach also, and she's learnt like that. So we started working with the teacher's reports. That, okay, this is how you are, this is your personality. So let's work towards that. With this quality in you, we started working. And then other things which we worked was on school leaders. So we worked on happiness program. In Goa, I conducted a couple of workshops for school leaders, their coordinators, where if you are happy, then you will make your team happy. What happened when schools were off, there was stress in terms of fund flows, school leaders became very irritable and demanding when teachers joined again. And that reflected in the classrooms. So when we worked on, like, if Delhi government has taken that in the classroom, happiness program. So we thought, let's work with our leaders and school heads. So these were 3-4 things which we did, and there are many other things, but the approach is that be more mindful, understand individual child and individual teachers. We cannot discount that, as you said, alignment. The teacher is an important pillar who's delivering. So we need to work on teachers understanding how learning happens. Thank you.
A very important point to bring that mindfulness in the teachers itself before giving it to the child, because the teacher herself has to be very confident, very open-minded, and she's out of that stress she's talking about post-pandemic, because maybe a job issues, maybe a salary issues, maybe whatever the life they had. But yes, that mindfulness, and the new education policy talks about the internship part of it, which we were missing. So the new approaches to education should be an internship at an early age, right? From that 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th grade, which the new education policy is talking about. So I think this is the discussion what we happened. I thanks to all the panelists, and even you want to share something, right? Or you have a question for us. Let's connect out the stage and understand the new approaches, what you mean to in terms of education. We'll discuss on and out. Sorry, because I've already got a message from the back. So let's connect out of the stage and let's discuss, and definitely we can exchange our ideas on the new approaches. Thank you to Image Planet, and thank you to all the seniors here. Thank you for listening us, and hope that we have been able to give you the new approaches in terms of education. Thank you, Priyanka, Aisha, Ami, and Mr. Reddy.
Thank you so much.